Remgro has reported a 14.1% drop in headline earnings per share to 854.3 cents, while revenue also rose to just under 16.5 billion rand. Jannie Durant, CEO of Remgro, joining us on the line now. Jannie, thanks very much for your time. You mentioned the subdued economic conditions that the group endured to the end of June. The year ended June the 30th, 2013. Do you expect those subdued economic conditions to continue?
I'm quite confident that it will, Bronwyn. I mean, if you look at on the consumer, is under a lot of pressure. It's strike season, less disposable income, people not earning salaries. So I don't really see in the next 6 months that things are going to improve.
Jannie, Chris Gilmore here.
Hi, Chris.
If we look at these results, I think there's one kind of, I wouldn't call it a funny, but a kind of one-off here in terms of Mediclinic. There's a couple of things with Mediclinic. It looks like they were refinancing some debt, and the situation, look at that, doesn't look like it's going to recur. But nevertheless, I mean, if you strip that out, what would be the effect on earnings if you take the Mediclinic situation out completely?
You're absolutely right, Chris. The Mediclinic refinancing was already in the previous 6 months. If you strip that out, which is a once-off item, non-cash flow, just a recycling via the balance sheet and income statement, our actual results, the way we look at it, is 11.6% up. And that's why we also increased the dividend more or less in line with it by 10.2% for the year under review.
Jannie, you know, your cash flows still remain very strong, and you know, you guys have always looked at acquisitive opportunities, although over the past 10 years you've been shedding businesses and making special distributions. Are you going to be paying special dividends going forward, or will you be making acquisitions in areas of opportunity?
There's no intention of paying special dividends at the moment. If you look at the past year, we've actually spent just over 7 billion rand on new investments in actual fact, so we've been more aggressive in the market. We spent over 2 billion on Mediclinic, actually in the refinancing of Mediclinic, and we underwrote that rights issue, and that's been very successful. As Mediclinic is in actual fact our biggest investment now. It's bigger than First Rand in our portfolio. And secondly, we also, via one of our subsidiaries, RCL Foods, formerly Rainbow Chicken, we've made an acquisition of Food Court for just over 3 billion. So we've been quite aggressive in the last 12 months. So what it has meant, obviously, our cash at the centre has decreased. So there's no intention of paying a special dividend in the near future.
Jannie, one of the most intriguing holdings, as far as I'm concerned, that you guys have got is the 25% stake in Unilever. Now, this is a big global food company, obviously, but you know, we don't have an awful lot of vision and transparency into this thing in South Africa. One of the things I'm interested in is there going to be a push by Unilever using South Africa as the base into the rest of Africa? And secondly, is there any intention, as far as you're aware, I know you don't have a controlling stake in this thing, but I don't know if you can comment on it, for them to get into more into the kind of generic market, the own label products for certain retailers?
Maybe two comments on that. We own 25% of Unilever South Africa, so we're not invested at the PLC level. And it's been a historical investment that we own food companies in the past, Robertson's, Best Food, that was reversed when mergers happened with Unilever. So that's a history behind the investment. As far as a generic, I would doubt that Unilever will go into very much. They're very proud of their trademarks worldwide on an international basis, so they support that vigorously. So I doubt if they will get into their own retail stores under the trademarks of retail stores like the ShopRite brands and things like that. Very doubtful.
Jannie, thanks so much for joining us for that update. Jannie Durant, the CEO of Remgro.